This bonus content is brought to you by Virgin Atlantic.
LD, we're going to break down some of the English Premier League's most talented players and how we think they'll perform at this summer's World Cup. Now, we've done the goalkeepers, right?
Yep.
Took a little deep dive into that. Today, we're focusing on the midfielders. So we have three categories: headliners, breakout stars, and question marks. For headliners, I like where you're going with a lot of these. Declan Rice of England and Arsenal. Why will he be a headliner?
Well, he's playing for arguably the best club in the world right now. And I think I watched him very closely during the Euros. Ian Dark and I did a lot of England games. And as he goes, so goes England. He's just one of those guys, Tim, these guys that they just make you win. And I know he takes a lot of heat in England for, he's not this, he's not that, whatever. When he's on the field, your team wins. And I just think he's the type of guy that if they make a deep run, it's going to be because of him.
Yeah, look, I couldn't agree more. He has gone from strength to strength, and it's sort of been impressive because we don't see this, right? So he was at West Ham, LD, and he had everything. He had the engine, he had the leadership qualities, right? He's a bit young. Arsenal see the potential. We interviewed him with NBC a couple of times, and he's so brilliantly candid. And he said, I want to add more production. I want more goals. The coach is asking me, I've got good technique. I got to work on this, and I got to do more. Gets to Arsenal, £100 million plus pounds or dollars, and you're like, it's a big fee. They're buying him to win them a championship or help. Can he do it? And his goals and his assists and his production have gone up and up, which have turned him into this like leader and stalwart. So I'm with you. Look, by the way, if England do great things in this World Cup, Declan Rice will be massively behind that. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, I agree.
One
All right, next one.
One that I sort of think we disagree on slightly, even though I love him, is Bruno Fernandes of Portugal and Manchester United. Talk to me about him.
I mean, look, he plays for, I know Manchester United's recent history, not good, but if you ask American soccer fans or even just American sports fans, they'll go, oh, Manchester United, I know that. He's the captain of Manchester United, captain of the Nations League winning team in Portugal. And he's been, I think, since the coaching change at United, he's been fantastic. And so he, like Declan Rice, makes that team tick, and he's productive. I mean, he's incredibly productive in that position. So,
well,
why do you disagree?
No, I wouldn't, because I think that Portugal team is also filled with star names, and so. Yeah, look, I don't disagree with that. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he wears his heart on his sleeve. I think he's in a time at Manchester United where it's been up and down and more down than up, but it's like a roller coaster. He's been steady, and that's a really tough thing. And as you mentioned, his sort of role within the Portugal squad. The reason I do agree with this, LD, is because I have Portugal as my dark horse in the World Cup. Sort of, if they can, given the names that they have, and names don't win you games, but the experience, top to bottom across that team, if they can put a run together, I think they have an opportunity to surprise people. Not surprise because they're household names, but get really deep in the tournament, and then you're just going completely on sort of adrenaline and a high. So I think they could be my dark horse.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the breakout stars.
Yeah.
There's a few on this team. I mean, everyone knows Erling Haaland. But I think Martin Ødegaard for Norway is again, Arsenal, like fantastic leader, productive, and he really, really makes this team go. And Norway is a team that I think a lot of people think might surprise some people in this tournament. So I think he's going to have a great tournament. I think between Sorloth and Erling Haaland, they have a really potent attack. They're really well coached, so they could surprise some people.
Yeah, look, Ødegaard for me is, he's one of these sort of ball dominant midfielders who gets attracted to the ball. Any team he's in, he drifts to the left or to the right on the whatever strong side the ball's on. He gets the ball at his feet. He finds pockets. He's always checking his shoulder. In a World Cup where you would imagine if they can go on a run and Erling Haaland can be sort of in the conversation for the Golden Boot, where's a lot of that going to come from, right? Like a lot of that production most likely will come from Ødegaard. So yeah, I'm on board with that one.
The only question mark for them is they have a really tough group with France
Right,
and
of
Senegal,
course,
and so
of
it's going to
course,
be
yeah.
challenging. The other guy, I was at the game in Austin, the US game against Ecuador, and in the stands, I was sitting next to the Ecuadorian sort of contingent in the box next to me, and they were obviously they're biased, but Caicedo wasn't on the field that day. He was left back, and they were just raving about him and how important he is to that team. And when you see him with Chelsea as well, you realize how important. And I think a lot of American fans don't know him. He's not the type of guy who's going to be a breakout star because of all this production anything does. But if Ecuador find a way deeper into the tournament, he is their engine. I mean,
Yeah.
he is the guy.
I say this with all due respect. He is a proper Ecuador player. Like when he
Totally.
when he walks on the
Totally.
field, and you look at him like, oh, okay. And my
Yeah.
my only issue with him is, and I cover him every week, and the talent that he brings, the raw ability, and he's added goal. I mean, by the way, he's a thunderbolt of right foot. I mean, there's 2 or 3 this season. I think he struck that just fly into the top corner. I mean, he's not afraid to hit the ball. I just question his decision making.
Yeah.
He quite
true.
literally is on a booking every week.
Yeah.
And then he's rash. So then after that, I'm like, you almost got to hook him, which the manager
But
does.
then how you can't take that away from him though, right? Because that's what
Uh,
makes him good. It's guys like that are so frustrating because
They
they
are.
need to be on the edge a bit.
Well, they can be taught. But anyway, my point is like
Yeah.
my one caveat to him being a breakout star is he on the field the entire
Right,
the
he might
entire
get a
time?
red
Right?
card
Like
in the first
I know
game,
it's
yeah.
crazy, but hopefully. But I definitely hear what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. All right, our last one here is Ryan Gravenberch from Liverpool. Goes a little under the radar too with this team because of all the star power they have with Liverpool. But for the Netherlands, he's a really, really key piece of everything they do, along with Johnny Reinders too in the midfield and Xavi Simons. So I think he has a chance to really be a star. The Netherlands are one of those teams that like you're always sort of wanting more out of them because you look at the players on the field and you're like, wow, they're really talented, really good. Cody Gakpo and Virgil van Dijk. But I think he has a chance if they do well to be a real star.
Yeah, I mean, for me, he is. Liverpool won the Premier League last year, and he was far and away their best player on a team that had really good players and production and seasons. He was their best player, far and away, and sort of he got brought to the club, and then under Slot, we've sort of seen this evolution. Right, he's kept him in the number 6 role. It's all him. They don't play a double pivot. He sort of anchors that midfield, allows everyone else to go forward, makes late runs. He's literally been brilliant for Liverpool Football Club. So, will that translate to the Netherlands? Absolutely, it will. Again, a bit like you said, they sort of have powerhouse names. Can they put it all together in the big moment? So the big question
TBD.
mark. But yeah,
That's a question mark, and these are our other question mark players. So this one's a little weird to say as a question mark because
No.
when
I like it.
when he's healthy and he's playing well, he is so electric. And again, I'll reference the Euros and people he's special because of the way other people in England talk about him, and that's Cole Palmer. And they talk about him like he's like this god. And sometimes you see it. And then other times you go, I didn't even really notice him or he's been injured. So I think he's a big question mark. If he really plays well and England play well,
Yep.
man, can he? I mean, he's one of those guys that could be the player of the tournament.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of
Yeah.
potential.
Well, we saw that at the Club World Cup, didn't we? In
Yeah,
the final,
that's
he
right.
like single-handedly took over. Look, I think
That's
he's
right.
untouchable and unplayable at times. And to what you just said about what people say in England, I minus sort of the injury layoff and sort of the patch where he didn't do a ton, right? And every player has that. I had him sort of picked as like the best player in the Premier League,
Mm,
which
that's a wild thing to say.
it's a wild
But
thing to
it's
say,
true.
but if
No,
you go
I
back,
know,
if
he
you go
can be.
back like a season and a half where he scored, I don't know, 20 plus goals, and they're like he can easily be, what Mo Salah is to or was to Liverpool, like Cole Palmer is that to Chelsea. I mean, 2 massive clubs. So it's not far fetched to say he is or has the ability to be the best player in the Premier League. I mean, he's shown that. Now, can you do that on a consistent basis? So agreed. On the big stage, he could light it up. He could also disappear. So that's why he's a question mark.
Well, not dissimilar from this last one here too. Florian Wirtz, who plays at Liverpool, he's had a tough adjustment to the Premier League. He started to find his feet a bit, but if Germany want any chance of being good. He is their star man. Like he really is, and he makes everything go for them. And we've all been sort of wanting and waiting for more out of him. Can he put it together? Maybe it's a little easier with Germany than it is with Liverpool, and maybe he becomes a breakout star. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Well, I think the question mark is you you see the talent, right? Like now, is that a rough start to a Liverpool career? I don't think that's unfair to say, but also the Premier League's different, man. It's hard. People. There's a betting in process. You don't blame him for that. The price tag was astronomical, so of course there comes pressure. But he's come good recently. You start to see why the price tag was so high. But what the take I agree with is I don't think he has that pressure with Germany. Like he's already betted in. Like he gets into the squad, into the German squad, and it's like this is his home, right?
He feels comfortable. Yeah.
So I think that we won't see. Obviously, the World Cup in and of itself produces anxiety and angst, but like I don't think he'll. Like I think he'll be more sort of free flowing and the Florian Wirtz that you expect to see right from the off. So yeah, a question mark because of the way he started with Liverpool, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Timmy, on the field, every player matters. And when it comes to their guests, Virgin Atlantic sees it the same way.
Exactly. No matter which cabin you're flying in, you're treated like a VIP, and you'll notice it in the details.
Yeah, you really do. Their cabin crew gives you personalized one-to-one service on a sleek, mood-lit plane designed to help you unwind.
I always look forward to their British classics, especially their very own Mile High Tea, featuring warm scones, jam, and cream.
Yeah, sounds like a perfect kind of hat trick to me.
And like any smart team, Virgin Atlantic knows that preparation matters.
That's right, which means you can check the lineup early and pre-order your meal before takeoff.
No need for extra time.
Yeah, none of that dull chicken or beef either. Just lots and lots of choices.
I'm backing the ricotta ravioli.
And it's pan-seared cod for me.
Solid choice.
So if the UK is on your schedule this season,
fly with an airline that's in a league of its own.
Check them out on virginatlantic.com.